morning, y'all. It's 7:20, Sunday, October 3rd. Hit that like, subscribe, comment, or hey, I don't care. I care, but don't care if you guys hit that like or dislike. That'd be nice if you guys did. And hit that subscribe. Yeah, I'm watching a little TV in the back. Sunday morning. I actually woke up about doesn't look like I woke up about an hour ago. Roughly an hour ago. But anywho, starting off, greetings and God bless you all. Here's a coffee in your eye. Actually, I'm down the street from our Hiram yard. I didn't feel like hanging out over there. You know, because sometimes our yard's quiet, or generally it's quiet. The reason is I say it's generally quiet, besides the company's drivers coming in the middle of the night. But that doesn't bother me. Because I wish, in a sense, that more places were quiet like that. The only places that are quiet that I pick up or stop at is the rest areas. But a lot of times I don't stop at a rest area because I want to get as far as I can in a day. But anywho, let's see here. I'll try to do more interviews with other drivers, especially inexperienced ones. But I have to say is, I did a video a while back. I think it was on my other channel. And for some reason, I can't get back on it without being on my phone. I have to be on a computer. But I think I just can't get into it. Talked about how to reading a scale ticket and knowing the weight of your truck. General rule is that, man, too bad I don't have my scale ticket. I turned all my paperwork in. Scale tickets, which is you get it at a CAT scale. You roll in, change it. You can change status, but you got to roll in duty status. Change to duty status. But anywho, CAT scale. A general thumb is if you're about 12 under steers, you're fine. About 12, what I mean is you could be slightly over, say 12,100. 12,100 or 12,200. That'd be kind of, for me, that's kind of pushing it. But then your drives, if you got dualies, or actually two sets of drives, 2 axle drives, so you got 8 tires. Yeah, 8 tires for your drives. That's 34. But if you got a single axle day cabber, or they're sleepers too, but let's say it's single axle day cabbers. What's half of 34,000? That's what you get on a single axle. Half of 34. But if you got a double axle drives, that'd be 34,000. Period. Same with your tandems of your trailer. 34,000. So in a sense, including tractor trailer and the weight of your product should not, explanation point, seriously, no more than 80,000 pounds. Stating that, if you're, in a sense, if you're good golden on your gross, say you're golden on your gross, say you're 79, 89,999, or say 80,000 pounds. That's what it says on your scale ticket. Your gross weight, it's 80. Period. 80,000. But hence your drives are 34.5. You can see 30. Make it 3,500. But at the same time, your heads, you're set up. Wait, let me kind of stop, exit real quick. Before I scale, you put your back axle of your tandem, or you can say the middle of that back axle tandem, to its 40-foot mark. Reason why I say that your 40-foot mark, it makes it roughly easier for you and to get the weight. Overall, it makes it easier getting scaled. It's just, people have other ways of doing it. Slamming the tandems way back to the rear, or slanting them forward. But this is the reason why it makes it easier for being at the 40-foot mark. At least you know that it makes it easier to adjust. So, to calculate the weight. All right. If you need an adjustment, saying if you need an adjustment. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because I had a young man. He's not really young. He's about my age. Young in the industry. No one has taught him how to read a scale or get scaled. This is what I'm assuming, because he asked me, "What, do you know how to read a scale ticket?" Well, yeah. I remember at the first time I ever got scaled, I didn't know. But lucky enough, I had a damn trainer with me that knew his shit. Excuse the language, sorry. You gotta remember there's kids watching. I guess it's an early morning, I should be fishing instead of sitting here drinking coffee. There's gonna be a 2-part video of this. The reason why I'm saying this, so I'm not showing you the reason why I don't have a scale ticket, or I don't have a load on me. Or I'm about to get a load this afternoon or this evening. That's when I could go fetch a scale. Get a cat scale. Hence, this is where I show you everybody, including probably the fresh guys, or the new guy that's been doing it for a while, probably a refresher course. Okay. But this is a talk through. This is verbal. Staying verbal to get it in your head. Okay. Stating that, The reason why is I'm discussing this. Let me see if I can get it. Let's say steers. Make it at 12. Make it 1200. 12100. Drives. This is mostly for all over the road, because over the road has double sets of I was gonna put drives on the steers. Okay. Some people are very visual, some people are not. I don't know if you guys can read that. You got your steers, drives, and your tandems. Okay. I'll just put 34 and 34 all together. So it gives you guys a chance. Okay. Steers are 12. Alright. That's par se. Let's pretend and say that you get scaled. Let's say the steers are the same. They didn't change. And your drives came out to 3,500. Then your tandems say it came out to like 33 and change. That's usually what happens, 33 and change. Because you very rarely get even numbers. Very rarely. But you do. If the warehouse knows how to... It worked out right. Okay. Let's say the tandems are the same, because I rewrote it. But let's say the tandems are the steers are the same. Then you notice your drives say it's 35 even. Then your back tandems, your trailer tires, you call them tandems. Say they're 33 and change. On most trailers, although the hulls tend to be bigger, or some trailers make the hulls for the pins smaller than others. These trailers we haul, the hulls are small. But the general rule is, you might hear it different, told different, said it different. But let's say pretend that each hull that you could slide the tandems on equals 200 pounds. So for each hull you move, you're taking or adding on 200 pounds. It's all you can see. You're taking off the drives 200 pounds. So stating that, if you're at the 40-foot mark, you could possibly take that off. You roughly have to move about 10 hulls. Because, if the bigger the hull, you could jump it up, or jump it up to 250 or 300 pounds per hull. But 200 is a good, solid number. You don't have to worry about tacking on it or doing that half 100. Okay, so if you're at the 40-foot mark, you got about 10 hulls You can say pushing the tandems forward, not pulling, because if you're going to pull the tandems, you're sliding them back away from the tractor. Okay. You guys, excuse me as I'm making my makeshift scale ticket, because most practically all cat scales are yellow. It does the whole thing. Okay. Then whoever rung you up stamps it, signs it, saying that you got it. That person sold you basically scaled you, gave you the ticket, or you bought the ticket, basically. Because the golden rule is to get scaled as much as possible. Especially if you're, the golden rule is if you're over, the product is over, say 30,000 pounds or 30 and a half, 3,500, go get it scaled. But in a sense, anything close to 30, I rather go get scaled, because when I'll explain why in a second. So I'm going back to adjusting so that you want is to pull your trailer brakes, because when you're in habit you pull the yellow, which is your parking, and trailer's the red. Pull both of them when you're, of course, when you go get the ticket, you have to pull your parking, but pull both of them. So as you go get your ticket, you don't have to worry about at least it's out of habit. So stating that, counting the holes, you get some bump up, or you can say bump backwards, not bump up, or bump forward, bump backwards. Say 10 holes. I'll say 9, or you say 10. If there's 11 holes, that's fine, but bump 10. But how you go do that, going back to the trailer brakes, you go back to where the tandems are at. On most trailers, especially the newer ones, they have, you can say, a silver or a silverish button. It's a button. Say it's a button. About that big. You pull on it. You hear. Then that's when the air is releasing, and the pins, you see where the holes are at, but you see the pin to hold the tandems or the tires in place, because you don't want those tires to slide while you're driving, because the moment you step the brakes, those tandems will slide. A lot of people don't know that, or especially the new drivers don't know that. Okay. Basically, it's amazing learning curve to do it without any assistance. All right. There's a couple of ways. I call it the tandem stopper, which is a metal piece. I gave mine away to a guy yesterday because he's new and it helps. Or if you're ever at a Walmart, say a Walmart, because it is normally where you get arts and crafts. Get it's hard to me explain it. If you had any younger siblings, because when I was young, we didn't have chalk to draw on the sidewalk. You know, those big, thick chalk things that you're, as a kid or your younger siblings had, and you guys drew on the concrete or the asphalt, drew flowers or cartoons or whatever, or stick figures. Get one of those. And before you slide the tandems, go back, figure out how many holes and what hole you need to be in when you start sliding the tandems. Mark it. Basically, mark it with highlight the circle. You can say the edge of it, or make a squiggly line through it, or however you want to mark it. It makes it easier. Okay, going back to that. Another way is that I like to do, say if it's more than a couple of feet, I count the feet out. So when you're in your truck, you're doing two things: staring at the mirror, noticing that if your tandems are sliding or not. Usually you can tell how the truck is acting if your tandems are not sliding. Then pick, like when you're sitting up straight, pick a spot or a spot on the ground, because most truck stops, Catskills or whatever, have gum marks, whatever. If you're lined up with a mark, if you have to back up 3 feet from that spot. But other than that, usually a tandem stopper or chalk would help you do that. I usually use a permanent marker and mark the trailer to see where line it up with the hole. But after you say, by my second or third year, I didn't really need to do any of that, because and especially if you're moving it just 2 or 3 holes, you use this thing 2 or 3 holes, just move it a couple of inches, just a couple. If you feel the trailer or you and the trailer move, like say like this, then you're good, or you should be good. But it'd always be good if you, in a sense, mark it. Either mark it by a permanent marker, piece of chalk on the hole itself, whatever works. Makes you happy. Makes your job easier. This is a kind of in-class discussion. So I know I did something that before, but I have to do something to address to the newer drivers, especially if you're under a trainer or about to be get a trainer. Hopefully this trainer has more than just 6 months under his belt. It's always be best if you get a trainer that has more than 5 years under his belt. Don't get me wrong, don't get butthurt if you have less than 5 years, but more than a year experience. Reason why I'm saying this is because I know a lot of guys have been driving 3 years that know a lot. But that's usually my general rule, that you're best off if you get 5 years in, you're good. You should be good to sit down and train someone. If that is your ticket. But that's not always the case. But I have to say is don't go from your classroom to the driver's seat thinking you know it all. Those classes, all they show you how to do is to get your permit and your license. They don't train you how to fill out a trip report, fill out a trip invoice, show you how to do a CAT scale, show you how to do any of that. They kind of show you how to make turns, but your real world learning is hands-on. All hands on deck. I didn't say the other word, deck. D-E-C-K. All hands on board. Is when you're doing it. And then at the same time, don't be afraid to ask questions. And with that little footnote of not asking, don't be afraid of asking questions. You have to kind of read certain people. If you don't mind walking up to a guy that looks like he's always pissed off and always unhappy, and you don't mind those type of people, go up and talk to him. Talk to him how he's going to talk to you. And state, hey, I might abbreviate some words and figure out afterwards. Say, hey, FS. Hey, douche. I'm just straight out to admit it. Say, hey, I'm new at this. You gotta forgive me. How you can read it? Can you show me how to read the scale? Okay. Explain to me what's wrong with it. Because no one showed me. My trainer never showed me. Okay, you never got trained. Fucking wonderful. It's good to use language. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, give me your ticket. Where's your ticket? Because I have to read it so I can explain it. Then he'll explain to you what your weights are. Because it's not the register person's job to explain if you're off or if you're over, under, whatever. They just give you the ticket, get the money, get the hell out of there. Especially when you're dealing with certain people. Good example. I'm at a Mavericks, which is about let's say about a mile down the road from our yard. This is my experience, especially with the women that are in there. They don't like talking to you. For some reason, they don't like talking to men. Unless you're a cute white boy that's about 6'5" with a cowboy hat on. But you gotta have blonde hair, blue eyes. But some of the guys in there, they're a little friendly, I guess, if you want to call it that, friendly. They're more talkative, chatterbox, you could say. They're easy. I guess they're easy to talk to because they're guys, especially if you're a guy. If you're a girl, it's probably somewhat easier. I don't know. That's not my experience. I'm not a woman. But hey, if you're cute, it might be easier. But anywho, I talked about this for 30 minutes. Okay, here we go. was trying to make it short. Anywho, my eyes itch. I'll get back to looking at fishing. I might just redo this video, but anywho, this is what you end up thinking of doing. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because some people, they might give you a dirty look and oh, you're asking a stupid question. You should know. It's like, no, if you stayed off, just going off and say, hey man, this I'm new, never been taught, never been, none of it, of getting scaled. So can you, yeah, why not? Like this young man showed, he kind of gave me a dirty look yesterday because I told him I didn't speak Spanish. Then he kind of paused for a minute. Then I could tell you he refrained of saying any more about that. But he apologized. Then I explained to him, like the way I explained to you guys, although this is not a scale ticket, but this is my makeshift scale ticket. And go from there and be another part. It'd be a part 2 of actually doing it later on today, because I am getting scaled after it, because where I'm picking up, they usually do it a little heavy. You know, they get you at your max weight, so you have to adjust everything. Because this ain't where I think this is where this guy went, the Schreiber, which was a cat scale over there, near Mavericks over there. But damn flies. Anywho, that is the highlight on getting you thinking on in your head what you need to do. And my second video is doing the visual. Okay, doing the visual. So let's state this. I've been trying to do this for a while, or do some reading. My allergies are killing me. Let's see here if this thing can stay on long enough. Okay, that was Corinthians. They passed it. But anywho, that is my thing. You guys gotta, please, you know, I have to ask God for forgiveness anyways for not appropriate language. But I'm gonna see here. I know it's in here because I read it the other day, and it kind of sucked me in the mouth because I wasn't using. Okay. This is really good because this is not talking about the language. But this is talking about forgiveness of an offender. That means basically this is the NIV Bible. It kind of explains it in plain English, our modern day language, I think. And offender, basically, the person who offended you. You could be both physically, sexual, or verbally, or anything that's unrighteous, I think. But anywho, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, starting with chapter 5. If anyone has caused you grief, he has not so much grieved me as he has grieved all of you, to some extent. Not to put it too severely, the punishment inflicted on him by the majority is you gotta excuse me because my reading is not the sharpest. Significant. No, that's not it. Sufficient. Now instead, you ought to forgive and comfort him, so that he will not be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. I urge you. See, this here says excessive sorrow. If this person that offended you had any conscience or any moral, he'll feel guilty. But if a person doesn't have any conscience or any moral, he will not feel that way. He will not feel any sorrow. But I'm taking this out, or you can say highlighting it verbally, that if a person, regardless of how he's feeling, we can forgive him. I urge you, therefore, to reaffirm your love for him. Reaffirm. What's reaffirm? I think reaffirm is something like redoing it. Bring it back. Redoing it. Okay. Another reason I wrote you to see if you would stand the test to be obedient in everything. Anyone you forgive, I also. This is what Jesus is talking right now. See here, stand the test and be obedient in everything. Anyone you forgive, I also forgive. And what I forgiven, if there wasn't anything to forgive, I have forgiven in the sight of Christ for your sake. Okay, let me reread that. If there was anything to forgive, I have forgiven in the sight of Jesus of Christ for your sake, in order that Satan might not overwhelm us. For we are not unaware of his schemes. Okay. That part says also, because in the New King James, or actually the King James, will also state that if you don't forgive, it's not in exact words, but it basically states, if you don't forgive the person that did you wrong, he's not going to forgive you. Basically, Because how I think of it is that, okay, to the person, especially if you could deal with a person on almost on a daily basis, or someone on a daily basis, address it to the person. Saying, hey, I think you did me wrong, but guess what? I'm not looking for anything to, I forgive you. Maybe you can see I'm still ticked, so right now I can't say I love you, but I still forgive you. Maybe next week, maybe next year, I don't know. I'll love you. But that's how I feel. That's my part. But at the same time, in King James says, if you want to be forgiven, you forgive others. Show some love. So that is my take on that. Maybe it was in Ephesians, I don't know. But hey, God bless you. God loves you. Don't forget to, and I need to shave, show some love, be loved, and love one another. And love yourself. Because even on those bad days, you still gotta love one another. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but you know what? You can say you will get a lot of love back if you show some, if you lay out some honey, lay it on thick with some sweetness. All right, love you guys. God bless. Catch you on the back hall and wait for that second part of scaling. All right, and another reading. Catch you later on. Peace, love, and what else? Chicken grease. I like a little chicken grease on my food. Just kidding. But later.